I only want to hear one thing. There's only one thing these people want to know as far as catching up with you. Somebody changed your name. Somebody that came in here and changed your name.
Snatched up.
And that, along with my fascination with mascots, you know where I'm going with this. So the only way we gonna catch up today, and then we gonna get straight to the punch. I want to know your love story, and you got to include how he proposed.
It's so fascinating that I came here to talk about Board of Education. I came here to boast about Birmingham City Schools, and it plays such a major role in my love story. Yeah, so it really
Yeah.
does.
You wasn't
It's
even expecting that,
I
but
was
yeah.
not expecting it. So you just got to be, this is the message for the people, you just got to be ready to serve, like wherever God is calling you to.
Yeah.
And our board president had a friend, and he has this mission. I love our board president, really great leader, great guy, just a champion for people in general. And he has this mission that good people should meet good people. And so he, one night after we finished the work, he said he had a friend. He wanted to introduce me to the friend. I think I recall a few years ago, this was one of your favorite places that you like to visit. And so he took me out to this friend's establishment, and I got to meet the friend. Not much happened, but I visited the establishment a couple more times. And I think that kind of let him work up the nerve, to do what he
Go
needed to
shoot
do.
your shot
He shot
now.
his shot. He hopped in my DMs and said, "I forgot to ask you the last 2 times I saw you. Would you like to have dinner?" And I thought that was so cute. And I got to tell you, it had probably been 10 years since guys had been like comfortable with like shooting their shot. Maybe gas station,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah,
Shawty,
they got
they got
courage
the
all day.
confidence
Yeah.
of, listen.
But the nice guys, they
Yeah,
got
and I've been
confidence.
around, plenty of nice guys, but I hadn't dated since 2012. Since 2012. So it'd been a while, and I was like, "Oh, this is cute." And I
Yeah.
like it, like approach, go for what you want. And I said yes to
Yeah.
the dinner. He pulled out all the stops and, kept pulling out all the stops week after week, date after date. And like women do, I kind of went down that road of self-sabotage for a minute. I was like,
Say
oh, I think we need to be friends. I don't know where we get that from.
First, it was like, you need to shoot your shot. Then you like, hold
Like,
on,
whoa,
we need to be.
not this fast. I want you to shoot your shot, but not that fast. Like, and why are you this nice? And why are you this many answer prayers? Like, that was too much for me.
Yeah.
Like, why are you this many answer prayers?
Yeah.
And so we needed to be friends. Now, the cool thing about it is, my family, and I was having a mixology class with my girls. And of course, my sister is one of my girls. It was her birthday. And I had to tell them, like, hey, we're going to be friends. If you don't want me to do the mixology class, this was also impressive. Most guys, they would have been like, man, forget you with your big headed, He was like, yeah, sure. And I'm still going to do the mixology class. But the cost is, I was like, oh, okay, so I got to pay.
That's Will.
Okay, the cost now is, whatever per person. And I had not charged them.
Yeah.
So I ended up covering everybody's cost for that mixology class. But we're having a ball. The girls are loving it. They're learning how to make these different cocktails. And my sister, who's celebrating a birthday, he creates this signature cocktail and named it after her, the Kill Your Shot. And everybody around the table, they're texting, does the owner like you? And I was like, I don't know him. Like, no, he's just the guy that does these classes. But they're
Couldn't
like,
hide it.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this ain't it. Such a gentleman, and, just treated my friends with the utmost respect, the care. We carried on our night, and we went to a restaurant. We order appetizers. Now we have left the mixology class and we've gone down to another restaurant, and our appetizers, he comes out serving them. So I'm just like laying it on thick. Like
Quit.
laying it on thick. Like, girl, this what you friend on,
Yeah.
Needless to say, I was just like, well, maybe we need to reconsider.
Maybe.
We need to reconsider some things. And we dated for 2.5 years. Loved kids. I'd never really seen him around kids, but super gentle with all of my nieces and nephews, parents. Loved them, siblings, loved them. Always just such a good, upstanding guy. I have been praying to be married into a really great, loving family, and it was just answer prayers all around.
Yeah.
Really answer prayers all around. Our church does this thing called Family on the Fifth. So every fifth Sunday, we pick a place where we go to and hang out as a family.
That's right.
And in June of 2024, Family on the Fifth, it was at the Barron's Stadium. I actually was at a school board conference, and I did not know some of my colleagues knew what was coming, but my colleagues kind of headed back to Birmingham ahead of me. And
oh, really?
at that point, I was just like, I got a 4-hour drive. It's been a long conference. I had class that day of Family on the Fifth. So I called one of the Family on the Fifth committee members, my good friend Shayla, your sister, our sister, and I said, hey, get somebody else to throw the pitch because I'm tired. I got a 4-hour drive. It's just been a long conference.
Oh, so you gonna mess it up?
And she's like, no, even if you just throw the pitch and then you can go home, like it'll be great, And Will actually is the person who got he told me that he got the Barons to get me to throw the first pitch. I said, I'm not the pastor. Get the pastor to pitch.
Yeah.
I can't pitch. I've never played softball. He said, well, I kind of told him the school board representative was going to pitch. That guy right there. I said, is there any benefit to the kids? He said, probably some tickets. Okay, well, sure.
Yeah.
If BCS kids are going to get tickets, like I'll pitch all day long.
All day long.
Yeah. So I get there, and after, Shayla's convincing, I do show up, and her sons are teaching me how to pitch. And I'm so focused on not messing up the pitch, like represent the board well, represent your church well, and you better get that ball across the plate. Like that's all I'm focused on. They let a little boy pitch ahead of me. I did not know he was like number 1 in the state. His ball was like 50 miles per hour, just crazy. And the catcher dropped it. I am nervous at this point because it was the perfect pitch.
Right.
But then I get out there. My practice went well. It was a little bit far right, my throw, but it went over the plate. He missed it, but I didn't care. And they started flooding me with pictures. They want to get pictures with the board representative.
Right.
I turn around and the catcher is on his knee. I did not even know he was the catcher. I saw the ball drop, but didn't,
you were focused.
I was so focused, but it was just beautiful. I looked up and the friends had a blanket hanging over the stadium, and it was, people were screaming, church members were screaming, none of them knew, and yeah, it was just perfect. It really was.
That is so sweet. Now, we're going to fast forward a little bit. And I want to remind you of a young lady that just came and took District 6 by storm. The church, the neighborhood, the schools, the day camp, summer camp. And you had so much going in, and you had a plan. You had a plan. And we've talked about your plan. And part of that plan was to transition off of the Birmingham School Board and pursue some other things. What happened?
I want to start by answering the question. Someone asked me what I want to be when I grow up. So I want to start there.
Yeah.
Because I was really, in my mind, walking into what I want to be. And more than anything, I want to be a grandmother.
Listen to you.
Like, I'm telling you, I think that grandmothers are like the best thing on the world, in this world.
There's only one thing better, granddaddies.
Ooh. And I can't be that, right? So I had to take the other one. And I've always wanted the grandkids and piled up on the floor and make the breakfast and get you in church programs, take you to the park and the pool in the summer. I just want to be a grandmother. And with marriage,
that makes sense. You do want to be a grandmother. You really do.
I really, really do. I really do. And you get to raise these kids that are not biologically siblings, but then they,
you send them back.
It's like, and they'll have the
Pour
best
into
time
them.
at grandma's house. Like, I'm little, so I want to be big mama.
Yeah.
I want to be big mama. I already practice with the soups, make rolls. I'm telling you, all of that. I make bomb sweet potato pies. Like, I got this grandma. I'm just, it's been there for many years. And I'm telling you, with marriage, I was just like, there's like responsibility changes and your ministry changes. And the way I feel like you to spend your energy has to change. And I've only had me for so long. I told you, hadn't dated really since 2012. And so I've poured out everything that I've had onto the community, into children. I remember children telling me, you can't get married, Miss Leticia, because we your kids. You can't have kids.
That's right.
And all of those kids, they showed up for the proposal. Some of them, came out to the wedding. They came out to, congratulate. And with all of those things happening in 2024, I felt like I was just going to have to reprioritize some things. And I didn't know if I could do it all. And so I wanted to build up other leaders because I still can't do it all, but I know that I can delegate responsibilities. I know that I'm called to develop leaders, build leaders at the youth level, at this particular level with public service. And so that's really, what I wanted to do. So it almost was a replicating of self, if you will. And I still have my eyes on starting a family. And so, with that, I just was like, I don't even know what it's going to look like.
Right.
But I told my colleagues, we have some long work sessions. I'm going to leave y'all at this desk. Like, once those babies start coming,
right.
we got to leave y'all at this desk. And that really, was my thought behind it. Moving into a different phase. And I want to honor God. And I want to honor the husband that he's given me. And I want to honor the family, that he will give me. And I want to make sure that I get that right, first and foremost. Because I don't want to be the type of parent and they remember, or the type of wife, they remember everything that I do outside of the home. And when I get in there, I'm hell on wheels.
Yeah, yeah.
And I got to tell you, because I've been alone for so long, when I get home, that is when everything comes off. That's when I'm the most reckless and selfish and tired, frustrated and short. And so I had to learn that the house doesn't deserve.
Yeah, don't bring that home.
The house doesn't deserve it. And I'm an introvert. Most people don't know that.
Yeah.
So I have to refuel at home. And that might not look like, having long conversations at dinner. And so I wanted to be able to shift some of that energy and not burn out outside of the home and not burn out in the work.
That's so thoughtful. That's so you. And so, if you don't mind me sharing, I said that, you can do all of it. Every last bit of it. You're that special. And we talked about, you also don't want to let your team down.
Right.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. When I go into the schools, as the election, now in 2024, wasn't much noise from the schools, but once 2025 hit, even if I'm going in for a program, Miss Leticia, when do you kick off that campaign? And I'm just getting a knot in my stomach, because I haven't really announced the decision that I had made. But every school, in District 6, the kids were asking if they could help. You had people at the front, you had teachers, parents, just asking, when does it kick off? When do we start? And I'm trusting God to just equip and provide, because there is a greater cause. And one of the things that I'm really learning in this season, I've been doing what I'm powerful enough to do, talented, smart enough to do. But when I put that, myself, my role, my responsibilities in God's hand, He can magnify, what I'm doing right now, working in my own might, could be so much more powerful, when it's put into God's hands. And so the things that I lack, the energy that I need for home, the balance that I'm looking for, I'm getting in the word and I'm getting in prayer. I'm running now, getting that exercise
You
in.
traded the bike for running?
I traded the boxing gloves. So in 2021, after the election, wrapped up, I got into boxing. And I have
Really?
I've torn some ligaments, and I've thrown a shoulder out. Fighting really is like my first language. And so I just learned how to I
Yeah.
learned how to transfer that energy in a different way. So yeah, I had to put the boxing gloves down for a little bit. And now I'm doing some running, some light running, and I'm doing some weights now.
Okay.
Yeah, so the boxing gloves went down. But yeah, like God is just renewing in this season.
Yeah.
And showing me that you've been working in your own might and you've been depending on yourself. But if you put it in my hands, that He's going to make a way for me. And so the plan that I had, I'm glad that I had a plan, because I talked about the value of developing other leaders. But
Yeah.
this board and this superintendent, you need a strong board superintendent working relationship. And we have made historic progress. I'm talking about increased enrollment, the first time in 30
But hold
years.
on, before you say that, and you dotted every I and crossed every T except for one. I want your board members to hear you say what you said to me, which was, you're gonna be there for them. You're gonna be there for that superintendent. That was so selfless. You know what I mean? Like, you deciding to pitch your hat again had a lot to do with none of you.
Yeah.
Everything but you.
Yeah.
Everybody but you.
And all of my fears about honoring God and honoring marriage and making it the first ministry, once that man, he was like fully behind and ready to go. I think he was fully behind it and ready to go even before I said, you know what, let's do this. I knew that this board deserved a team player. This board deserved to continue this type of progress, to work with this superintendent, to continue these types of advancements that we've never seen in Birmingham City Schools. So even when I thought that I wouldn't have the energy as a new wife, as someone who desires to be a grandmother, like there's still time. And the children of District 6, the families of District 6, the same kids that I coach over at Memorial Park, the teachers, the principals of those schools, they deserve somebody who has their back. They deserve someone who's not looking to serve themselves. They deserve someone to be their voice, and they deserve these types of partnerships and investments. I'm skilled at bringing in resources, in creating partnerships. Every promise, I'm going to tell you, in 2022, I was already proud that every promise we talked about in 2021, we'd already kept. We'd already achieved. I said that I would work with nonprofit organizations, with faith-based institutions to bring resources into District 6 schools. And that's what we have. We have adopted schools. Every school in District 6, resources are being poured into it from faith-based communities, from the academic institutions that are nearby, from nonprofit organizations, taking care of our kids for whenever our title money and our title funds don't hit something, now those principals can just call up those partners. And that's the type of
wonderful.
investments that we have to continue. And so even though in 2024, yes, I was afraid, not of the work. I love the work.
Yeah.
I'm fueled by the work. I'm fueled by the kids and the passion. But I was afraid of the responsibility that now comes with this new life that I've stepped into. I'm really confident. I have a great husband, a great partner, a great supporter, great church family, great board, incredible superintendent and his staff. And I want us to continue to working together for Birmingham City Schools.
And let's end it there. I make it very clear. People need to understand this is not just about personalities and faces and titles. Different people will bring different policies and different
Agendas.
energy to the board. It is just this simple. Do you support the superintendent or not? And that is my question to everyone. I know the answer from your challenger. His goal is to bring fire and brimstone.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that simple. Do you support this superintendent and his work?
And so the message is simple. It's bigger than politics. It's bigger than the faces, the personalities that we have. The question is, do you support this board, this superintendent, and the success that we've made in Birmingham City Schools over the past 3.5 years? And if the answer is yes, then the choice is very clear. I serve as the policy chair. I'm a former researcher. I serve as our science textbook selection committee member from the board. I serve as the superintendent evaluation committee board member. And I've also served on the agenda committee. I've represented Birmingham City Schools at Harvard University as its board member. I've represented us in the building of a dual language immersion school, the first in the state of Alabama. This is the work. These are the skills. This is the experience that you have with Leticia Watkins Harville. And so the question is, do we want to see that work continue? Not just in District 6, but across Birmingham City Schools. Do we want a board that works together? Not a board that wreaks chaos across the city. And we've seen what that could look like. But do we want unity when it comes to doing this type of work for our children? That's really the question.
And I think I speak for all citizens. You know, we're tired of this carousel of superintendents. And to hear that this board and this superintendent are doing such exceptional work, I just can't imagine a change. I need you to look into that camera and ask District 6 for their vote.
I got one more thing to say.
Oh,
Yeah.
please.
In 2021 or 2022, you asked me, maybe 2021, do we need to scrap the system and just start over?
I did.
Because you said the people are tired of this.
I did.
They're tired. Families are tired. Kids are tired of this. And I said, give us time. I said, don't scrap the system. Give us time to put the right people in the right places. Give us time. We've developed a strategic plan. You guys gave us time in 3.5 years, and you see what that looks like. Increased enrollment the first time in 30 years. First in the state of Alabama, number 1 in the state of Alabama for math recovery since COVID. Number 7 in the nation. You gave us time.
Say that again. Say that again. Say that again.
Hot off the press.
Hot off the press.
And this study was done by Harvard, Stanford University.
Tell it.
8,000 schools. This study was done with 8,000 schools. Birmingham City Schools is number 1 in the state of Alabama for math recovery and number 7 in the nation.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
And thank you for giving us time. Thank you for saying, okay, we're not going to scrap the school system.
I'll fight for you.
Just let us fight for you.
Yeah.
So District 6. On August 26th, vote to re-elect Leticia Watkins Harville. And together, let's continue to invest in BCS.